Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to NOLA Theater Talk. My name is Alan Smason, and we broadcast on a fairly regular basis on Monday nights to the NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group, if I ever spell that right. Uh, we also broadcast to the theatercriticism.com Facebook page and my own YouTube channel. You can check that out again on any of those sites throughout the time that we broadcast. And again, I would like to mention that we are not going to be live tonight. This is a pre-recorded show. So those of you who would normally be making comments, we appreciate the fact that you can make comments normally, but tonight's show being pre-recorded, you'll not be able to do so. But other than that, you'll be able to listen in and check out our guests. As you can see above me on that side right there, it says Intramural Theater, and the artistic director, or at least the co-artistic director, the writer for the show that we're going to talk about, and I believe the director as well, is Bennett Kirschner. Welcome, Bennett, back to the show. How you doing?
Hey, Alan. Thanks so much for having me.
So you're going to be having a new performance space. This is the music box, right? That's where you're going to be. So first off, there was a little something going on at the music box. As I recall, the last time there was they shut down for a bit. Is that correct?
Yeah, they had a brief hiatus during the fall season.
Okay, but they're back up and running, is what you're telling us.
Yep, back up and running, and yeah, fully.
Under the same leadership or management, or is it different now?
It is. There is I believe the two founders have departed. That was planned.
Okay.
They've been there for a while, and they had. Okay. It's the same group.
I got you.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean Tipitina's is still there, but now Galactic, Galactic has the I guess you might say management of it.
Totally.
So they have a board, et cetera, that runs the club. But I understand it's still Tipitina's, still the music box. So what you're coming up with this particular show, and you've had some rather unusual shows. I been very impressed with a lot of the work that you've done. The Cook you had, that's at least about a year and a half or so ago now.
That was June of 2022. So
okay, yeah,
2 years ago. Yeah,
so almost 2 years. And then you had obviously the Cave that was so nicely done. I appreciated that very much. And then you've decided to do another original work. This is basically set in New Orleans, so anybody who likes to support local artists will appreciate the fact that you write about what you know. That is, you wrote about the New Orleans area, although this is a New Orleans that is not necessarily a New Orleans that we are all aware of. It's perhaps a little maybe set in the future, perhaps, or maybe the present day, but with a little bit of I would say maybe aspects of futurism in it, that it's maybe not quite here, or maybe it's on the verge of happening, but essentially you're tackling some of the environmental concerns, I guess, that we all have about our climate and things of that sort. And you tackle this with the aid of a rather interesting device, a recyclable can, but it's not just a can that is recyclable in that regard. It's also a resealable aluminum can, right?
Yeah.
So that is what makes it quite interesting. And of course, the question is the prototype goes missing, and where's the can? What's that all about? And it leads to some interesting things. And I'm going to leave it at that point. We're gonna leave the rest of it. Well, if anybody's interested, they'll have to go see the show to find out a little bit about it. But again, an interesting concept. Now you're again the writer, director, artistic director for Intramural Theater. But do you all do like workshops to develop these shows? How do you come up with this kind of material?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a very extensive devising process. So we started devising this piece back in August of 2023. And we always start with what we call a seed. And I believe I talked about this when we spoke about Cave. So the way that works is a seed is essentially a nebulous concept that lends itself to various angles of interpretation, analysis, contemplation, right? So that has Cave, which you saw, the seed for that was reincarnation. Other seeds have been synesthesia, voyeurism. What was interesting about this piece, we're still using the classic intramural devising methodology, but what was different about this one was that we started instead with an artwork. So we started with the play, the script Wojciech by George Buchner.
Okay.
You
know Not really. Now tell me a little bit about it. Assume that everybody out there listening doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. So it's a fascinating play. It was written in the early 19th century by a German playwright, George Buchner. The manuscript was discovered shortly after his death, and it was discovered. The scenes it was unclear what order the scenes were supposed to be in. So whenever the play is mounted, each scene is done, it's done in a completely original, unique order. The piece, it tells the story of Wojciech, the titular Wojciech, who was the first person in the Western world, as far as I know, in a court of law, plead insanity as a defense in a murder trial.
Okay.
So it's a very dark piece, unlike the Bermuda Can Company, our new play, which I will add bears almost no resemblance to Wojciech. It so happens.
Right. So it was based in fact on in the truth that he was actually on trial, or is this all imagined?
Well, so the play doesn't actually cover any trial. Wojciech does not cover any trial.
Okay.
It kind of just covers his descent into madness.
Okay.
As he works various jobs. So he is a test subject in an experiment where he has to only eat peas for months at a time. He is the personal assistant to a military official. He is a tailor's apprentice. There are various jobs that he has as he tries to support his wife and child. Meanwhile, his wife is losing interest in him. It's a play marked by desperation.
If you were eating peas all day, I would assume that your wife would probably get a little tired of you. All we are saying is give peas a chance. Here we go. I'm having a little Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a Twin Sons Cabernet Sauvignon. I don't know what you brought in.
But, Alan, to tell you the truth, I'm having a pretty sober day. I just brought myself a classic glass of lemon water.
Lemon water will do. I mean, I just want people to know we do this not capriciously, but we do it because, well, there's a show that started during the pandemic, and I occasionally like to imbibe a little liquid libation. There is good, but I'm having to cover up the wine because they have the fruit fly season nowadays, and they can dive bomb at you and see me waving if it is. Anyway, let's get back into it. So you base this on Wojciech, but it, like you said, it really doesn't bear much resemblance to it. That's what the seed was. That's what it started off at. You've got a fairly large cast considering the concept. And again, I assume you wrote this up in August. You said, tell me about the genesis of product at that point. From that point on, how did it evolve from August until the time that it was actually ready to be played? Did you do a workshop for it in any way, or readings? How did that work?
Totally. So over the course of that first 4-week devising period, we from start to finish, we built various tableaus, etudes. From that, we built outlines. We kind of argued as a company and then picked which outline we liked the most. And then over the course of the final 4 rehearsals, we fleshed out the outline, had a few improvisations, and then I had an outline to work from. So then over the course of the next few months, from August to February or so, I and the 2 other writers, I was the lead playwright, but worked closely with T. Clark and Maddie Zins on this. We developed the script, brought it into the ensemble, and had 3 workshop kind of table readings with the ensemble where we were able to talk about it. The script ended up taking various departures from the outline that we had agreed to.
Mm-hmm.
And I introduced those departures, we talked through those, and we continued to develop the script as an ensemble.
Now, you said that Maddie Zins and T. Clark were involved in the writing process. They're also actors in the play, along with well, it looks like everybody else in the play, except for Philip Yiannopoulos. Were all part of the creative process in creating the characters. Did they create their own characters, or did they come up with an idea for other characters? How did that work?
The answer to that is varied. There are a few cases where the characters that people ended up playing were originated by that person, but then there are a few instances when we created a character to kind of serve the script itself.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of a simple collective decision. It was always very intuitive.
But again, the major writing was done by you,
yeah,
T. Clark, and Maddie Zins. Mm-hmm. So and again, we'll be able to see them on stage during the course of the play as well. Now, you're not on stage. You're as a director, you're off to the side, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So even though they were instrumental in doing some of the writing and also helping to craft the final product, they didn't do any of the directing. You took that all on your own.
Yep, that's okay. Right. Mm-hmm.
So again, Bermuda Can Company. Why Bermuda? What does that have to do with New Orleans, if I may ask?
That is the last name of the titular of our protagonist, Kiefer, who is the CEO of the company.
Okay. Yes. I got you.
And Kiefer, funnily enough, is played by Lauren Wells, who I imagine you've seen in Tennessee Williams Theater Company plays in the past. She's an amazing actor. And she also, one amongst many other wonderful spectacles in this play, she is, in her own words, very pregnant. And she is playing the male power-hungry CEO of Bermuda Can Company.
So this would be Lauren, who's here.
Yep, that's her on the left as Kiefer.
And trying to see if there's any more. I'm not quite sure if I see any more. Well, I think there's another one here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now again, that's. Can you tell me a little bit about what's going on at that part of the? They look like they have a Hawaiian party of some sort.
Yeah,
wearing leis. So
yeah.
What does that have to do with the can company in New Orleans that's doing recycling and doing a resealable can? You
totally.
Tell me about that.
Well, Mary Langley. So the actor who's on the right of the screen there, Mary Langley's character Harper. She is the HR manager. And she, has put this whole party together. And in her own words, every party's a Hawaiian party if you make it one. So she has rather arbitrarily, for no reason, brought in leis to this party, despite the fact that, the product, the company, has absolutely nothing to do with Hawaii. I imagine you're seeing, it's pretty clear that this is a rather demented play. Alan,
I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, demented or straight ahead. I mean, you got a few things going on. That looks like that's at the party as well. That's again Lauren Wells and Mary Davis, right?
Mary Davis to the left, yep, and then Mary Langley behind them.
Yes. Yep. So and again. I mean, you've got a. I'm thinking, what about 8 or 9 people in there, right?
8 people altogether. Yeah.
Philip Yiannopoulos, as I said, is a bridge operator. We're talking about a New Orleans, like a bridge that lifts up along the Industrial Canal type of bridge operator, or are we talking about something different? Did you hear what I said? Bennett. I think he. I don't think I froze, so we'll see. Bennett,
Hey,
you're back. Yeah, yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm not sure what happened there.
I asked bridge operator. What does that refer to? Is that a bridge like industrial canal bridge that goes up and
Yeah, he
down?
specifically is. I recently discovered that the correct term for it is a bridge tender, but we're sticking with bridge operator. And he
Okay,
is the bridge tender at the St. Claude Drawbridge, which happens to be
sure.
obviously right next to the music box.
I got you.
Rather serendipitous coincidence we have there.
All right. So again, most important thing to mention, at this stage of the game is about the tickets, etc. So the music box is an outdoor setting. You're going to be starting performances on May the 17th, which is Friday, correct?
Yes, and I should add that this is actually happening in the Music Box Schoolhouse, which is
Oh, the
kind of
schoolhouse. So
yes.
it's an indoor. It's an indoor then.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. So the
Because
schoolhouse, I don't if you've been to the Music Box, if you park in the parking lot and you kind of walk around the perimeter to get through the main entrance, you'll see the Music Box or the schoolhouse to your left. It is a house that is a recent addition to the overall complex. It's a house with a large room that
is it
we are.
red like red like a regular school box, or
It
is
is
it different
green.
color?
It's
Green.
green. Yeah.
Okay. Um, and that's on North Rampart Street, right?
Yes, 4557 North Rampart.
All right. Let's see if we can have that added there. Let's see. That's right. Music
Yep.
Box Schoolhouse, 4557 North Rampart Street. And again, for information about tickets, we invite everybody to go to the intramuraltheater.ticketspice.com/BCC, and the BCC standing for Bermuda Can Company.
Mm-hmm.
So intramuraltheater.ticketspice.com/BCC, and you can get your tickets that way. Again, the doors open 30 minutes before the show. Show start at 7 o'clock. I should mention that as well.
Show starts at 7:30.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's totally
Okay.
fine. And I should also add that for each ticket comes with an hour of free admission to the Music Box Village for that hour before curtain. So from 6:30 to 7:30, if you're coming to see Bermuda Can Company, 6:30 to 7:30, you buy a ticket, or you've already bought a ticket, you're welcome to go into the Music Box Village and kind of roam about, enjoy these magnificent instruments that they've built that are so fun.
Okay. Evening shows are at 7:30. Yeah, I was
Yep.
reading where the doors are open. You put down 7 p.m. So
Yep.
you don't need to do that. Just put down 30 minutes before opening and let people go to right,
Totally.
So yeah. So no problem. Again, you're the director, writer, and obviously we'll say one of three with T. Davis and Maddie Zins as well. I would go through a couple more of the photos right now just to see what else we're missing here. I don't know that we did this one yet.
Yes.
Tell me about that. There's a can. I don't know if it's the can that's missing. But tell me about that.
I mean, I won't give up too much about whether or not the can shows up, but there we have. So actually, T, who's an essential part of the team, has kind of transitioned from performing. They are now assistant directing the piece, as they've been like such an instrumental part of the writing team. And in their place in the role of Tiffany, we're so fortunate to have been joined by Semil Ganges. So she is the individual with the can in that photo. She is a TikTok influencer who has come to cover the launch party, which is where we pick up when we first start the play. We're about to start this launch party. They've invited this famous TikTok influencer who they're so excited to have. And this is her investigating what may or may not be the prototype. I'll leave that ambiguous.
So, and tell me a little bit about Topher.
Topher is playing the part of Hetty. Hetty is the designer of the can. So they are she Hetty is a woman. We do a lot of, in classic intramural form, we are very arbitrary about gender, who plays what. But Topher, Hetty's character, she is the designer. She is an industrial engineer who was deeply inspired by Kiefer, the CEO's father, Dr. Bermuda, who originally founded this company, and actually is kind of notorious for being the first person to introduce BPAs in cans, which, whenever you see cans, often these days, you see that they come with this text that says BPA free, right? Because it's known to cause cancer, birth defects, things of that nature. So there is the company has something of a notoriety, something of a legacy that they are trying to
move away from, perhaps. Yes.
Exactly,
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. And now we have this one is again still at the party, looks like.
Well, this is preparing for the party. So that is Maddie Zins as Beverly, the intern, and Mary Langley again to the right
as Harper.
As Harper, yes, the HR manager.
All right. I think the rest of it we may have seen already. I think that one we showed. Yeah. And they showed that one. And then the last one was that one. You showed all the pictures there. We ran through everything quickly. Again, for those of you who are interested, this is going to be at the Music Box Schoolhouse. Again, 4557 North Rampart Street. And that's I guess you might say right down by where the Industrial Canal is, that area.
So it's next to it.
Right near St. Claude. So have you announced I mean, this is part of your season, I guess, for 2024, 25. Have you announced any other shows that you're going to be doing with the coming season? Is this the first, or is this?
Yeah, we have a show we'll be doing in January. Honestly, Alan, so for whatever reason, we we take so much pride in the work we do, but we've never done a formal season announcement.
Gotcha.
I'm happy to share with you the next play we'll be doing. It's titled Timbuktu USA by Ken Preston Inze, who's a phenomenal playwright. That piece will be directed by Frenchie Faith, who's a member of Intramural Theater and has performed in a number of our shows in the past. And yeah, it's a very funny, very searing portrait of political dynasties in America, and specifically the role or the obstacles and impediments that women face in politics in the United States. It's a very funny play. It's a very dark play too, by the same token, and we're really excited about it.
Do you seem to like to gravitate towards some of the darker themes from time to time?
Of course, absolutely. I mean, our most recent production, the Trees, was the exception to the rule for sure. That was obviously a very heartwarming play. It was a very sweet play. I think.
But you also do work that that incorporates other people from other companies too. You've had work with several people from other companies, right? Such as I think, was it Goat in the Road that you had done something with, or was it? I'm trying to remember what was the other group that you work with, but.
I mean, we haven't necessarily done any co-productions with other companies.
Right, but people who have been associated with other
absolutely.
companies.
I mean, Ian Hoke, who's a member of Goat in the Road, he was in In the Trees.
Yes.
We're working,
and he just did Born with Teeth at Le Petit too. So he moves back and forth from one company to the next. Not specific to one, but I think that's great that you've got people who can do that, because it not only shows their own ability to be flexible, but it also, I like it a little bit to sort of like DNA, or maybe cross pollination. That when you've got an actor who is in one group and they move over to another group, they are able to pollinate in a way their ideas, things that are, well, when we did this play, we did this, maybe, make you think about some of the other things. And then that way, if you've got some kind of influence on them, they go back to wherever they were and they say, well, look what our Intramural was doing, and
Absolutely.
and perhaps, I think it's all a part of keeping the creative process going. And that makes for stronger theater. It makes for stronger production companies, and it builds. I would say an opportunity for other people to continue to think about collaboration, and that's it's very important. I think collaboration is one of the cornerstones for really good theater. Sometimes though, you have to draw the line. Obviously, you can't have one person sort of taking over, but as long as it's done with a certain amount of respect, and consideration, and done so with a certain heart and humility, I think it's fine. It works out great. Again, I want everybody to understand one more time this piece, the Bermuda Can Company, is going to be presented Friday and for 10 days through the 27th. I don't know if that's 10 days or that's going to be 11 days. Sometimes the numbers are.
It's 9 total performances. So we're taking the 18th, that's Saturday, and then we're taking the Tuesday, Wednesday off. So those days will be dark. We'll have.
But you will be open. You will be open on Monday, which is traditionally dark night for theater. So anybody who's involved in the show, can come by. I think it's always great to offer alternative when most other people are closed. It keeps the theater scene alive for a lot of people. It means that not everybody's dark, which is, even though Mondays are the night we broadcast traditionally, the idea is that it makes for a very good opportunity for people who are involved in theater to be able to see some of the other work of some of the other people that they wouldn't be able to see if it was only open on a Friday, Saturday, like most of the other works are. So Bennett, in terms of we have only a couple minutes or so left, but in terms of this next show that you mentioned that's coming up in January, that's not an original work, but you've done a lot of original pieces, etc. Do you prefer to do the original works, or do you prefer to do showcase the works of maybe not quite well known or somewhat undiscovered playwrights? Which do you think your company does better?
Oh, I think we do them equally well, and I love them. I love them both. They're very different kinds of projects, but ultimately, I am passionate about both. I'm passionate about bringing to life the words of playwrights whose work I think deserves to be done, and interpreting them in new, exciting, invigorating, original ways. But also, and quite frankly, it takes so much more time to build a piece from scratch, but very few endeavors come with the same sense of fulfillment and satisfaction as I'm experiencing right now, as I'm on the cusp of putting up this play that I'm so excited to share with New Orleans.
Well, that's fantastic. And again, the name of it is Bermuda Can Company, and you've got a pretty notable set of creative cast too. You've got one of my favorite lighting designers, Stephen Thurber, who's on the bill with you as far as it goes. Bobby Burvant did the sound design, and it says he created the some of the artistic process as well. So did he come up with something that was a little different than just design the sound, or how is it that he contributed? What did he do?
Yeah, so he and Adam Turek and Trisha Anderson, they were the three, other than myself, three backstage people who took part in the devising process. And when you take part in the devising process, there's no difference between somebody who is acting and somebody who's a designer. Everybody is contributing writing, everybody's taking part in acting as well. It's kind of just a very fun, very cool playground for all of us.
So Adam did the set design, and Bobby Burvant did the sound design.
Yeah.
And again, I wish everybody break legs. Hope that the process does very well. Again, the the 17th through the 27th at the Music Box Schoolhouse. You can see right there where to get tickets. Bennett, thank you for coming on the program again. And let me just say goodnight to everybody.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
All right,
Alan.
appreciate it. All right, everybody, just stay tuned. We'll be back hopefully next Monday night with more. This is Alan Smason wishing you and yours a very good one. NOLA Theater Talk. Hopefully you get a chance to check us out sometime on a Monday night coming up. And again, we broadcast to the Theater Folk Facebook group, the theatercriticism.com Facebook page, and my own YouTube channel. And again, I'll see you